You're kidding.
Hell, silly, but, I'm in a youthful environment. I want to feel youthful.
Well, if it's important to you, I'll support you. But why didn't you tell me about it earlier?
Well, for the same reason that those formulas that dye hair do it gradually. I mean, it's the kind of thing you want people to notice, but not to be able to pinpoint.
I didn't know.
You're gonna love this one, Sophia. Oh, you know what it is? What about the blabbermouth? Does she know too?
Maybe.
She knows. Rose, after dinner, what do you say we ride over to the Dairy Queen for a couple of chocolate cokes?
Conway Twitty.
The problem is Robert charges $300 and it's just not in my budget this month. Oh, that's the trouble with being beautiful. The maintenance will kill you.
I have an idea, Blanche. How about moonlighting and making some extra money?
Another job? Rose, I already work.
We're talking about the sacred institution of marriage here. Are you willing to sacrifice the happiness of these two kids for the almighty dollar?
Yes!
I just want to be sure we were in agreement. I'm going to put Priscilla on now.
What, you two are seeing each other?
You know, for years, my father's been telling me to see a psychiatrist. I couldn't understand why. And then a couple of weeks ago, it dawned on me. He probably meant socially. It's wonderful. They really listen.
She really talks.
A natural blonde?
I am a natural blonde.
Right, Rose. You and Tina Turner.
Did Dorothy tell you she's gonna be a grandma?
Oh, that was a secret.
Oh, Dorothy, that's wonderful. Why didn't you tell us?
Because we're not 100% sure. I didn't talk to Kate. Ma did.
Things I could help you with. Should I go on this mission is out of my area of expertise. Who do you think I am, Oliver North?
Ma, you're not making this any easier.
All right, then. If you think it'll help you land this Al character, you should do it.
Al? Who said anything about landing Al? What, do you think I'd risk my life for Al? Being a nurse. At your age, we can't take any injury for granted.
Well, it's your fault I sprained both my ankles.
Ma, you were the one who sneezed and blew yourself off the stool.
It wouldn't have happened if you'd let me sit at the table that night.
Look, Ma, you know the rules. When we eat Mexican food, you sit at the counter. Can you believe that?
Was that worth waiting 70 years for, or what? I love it. The Montecavallo curse is finally kicking in. Vengeance is mine. Do you think they'll let us take home the centerpieces? They like it, too. That's because you bring the stick to them.
I know they get so excited when I fetch. Well, you like having them over, too, don't you, Sophia?
Yeah, I like them.
That's because it temporarily shifts the blame if we find a puddle on the floor.
No poppy seeds, they get caught under my dentures.
Sophia, at least you could pretend that you're concerned.
Really, I'm worried sick. Also, a half a dozen sour pickles and 2 prune Danish. I want the Locks to visit, not set up shop there.
Rose, she is the surprise.
Oh. Now, they haven't seen each other since Angela moved back to Sicily 30 years ago.
Oh, that's a wonderful surprise.
Now, look, I'm going to need your help. I want you to help set up the party and keep Ma out of the...
Hurry up, get dressed, we're gonna be late for temple.
Ma, it's Tuesday and we're Catholic.
Me, I haven't felt in 35 years. We used to hug and kiss and hold hands, and it was nice. He made me feel attractive and desirable again. He probably made the rest of you feel that way too. And looking out at this kennel club, that was no small accomplishment. They lock us in our rooms and force us to look like we're having fun. Then they take pictures for their brochure.
Ma, you know that's not true. You'll have to excuse my mother. She recently had a stroke, and her perception is a little, distorted.
It was the legitimacy and the honesty and the reality that they brought to almost every episode, and the juxtapositions of some very serious stuff that we did over the years with...
Shut up. Get a life. Stop calling Rose. She doesn't want to talk to you, so leave her alone. Thank you.
Is that what you wanted to say to me, Rose?
Well, I'm sorry, but I suppose so.
Excuse me, can I get your attention, please? I'd like to clear the air.
What's the matter with you?
You walked out on me, Stanley Zbornak.
Now I know why.
You walked out on me, and you didn't even have the decency to tell me you were leaving. I heard it from some lawyer over the telephone. A stranger, Stanley, a total stranger, told me that I'm a little nervous about Jean. I mean, she's a very special person. I don't know if she's going to get along with Blanche and Rose.
You mean because she's a lesbian?
She's not a lesbian. I mean, what an absurd thing. How did you know?
I've known since you two were in college together.
She didn't even know in college.
In fact, back home, I used to run our town's Wilkenwagen. Oh, boy, was that fun. Whenever a new family would move into St. Olaf, we'd all hop on the tractor and ride out to the new neighbor's farm. 30 or 40 of us carrying vats of smoked fish and big pitchers. You and your daughter. You should never lie to anyone.
Okay, it was only 3 minutes, but still. I stood there like a fool.
Even if lying seems like a good idea at the time.
Oh, Rose, what are you talking about? Is this about Kirsten?
Oh, Kirsten wouldn't lie.
Who is it?
Sagalangelo.
Come in.
Dorothy.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I'd almost forgotten about that night.
With all of us cramped into that bed, I had to sleep in positions I never thought possible.
Me too.
Guido Spirelli? It's me, Sophia. I've come a long way to speak to you. Many years ago, I wronged you. I broke your heart, and because of that, I've been suffering all these years. I just want you to know how sorry I am. From the bottom of my heart, Guido, I apologize.
Sophia,
What does it mean, a little less bourbon?
it's a big decision, Sophia. She's got to think about it.
She's family. If you can't count on family, who the hell can you count on?
She's Italian.
There is no sound in this world sweeter than a bull's moo as it climbs an octave.
Did you win?
No, lost by a hair.
I admired you after that. I know you can't tell it from the way I look, but it's true.
Okay, Blanche. I forgive you.
Oh.
Dorothy, I've got the thing I want you to look over.
Oh, the thing. Fine, I'll look at it later.
I just hate the idea of a yard sale, but if you're really trying to get rid of your stuff, well, I'll take it off your hands for, say, $50.
Okay, but a deal's a deal. I don't want to hear you say you didn't get your money's worth just because something doesn't fit right, or smells bad, or makes strangers look at you and giggle.
Coastline! With only this towel between your hot flesh and the cold, wet sand.
I brought my son Skippy home from the hospital in this towel job.
You're lying, Blanche.
Never really given Salvador a chance.
You know, I don't understand what you see in this man.
It's not something I can explain. Everything you say about him is true. Lord knows he's not terribly bright. He's not terribly good looking and not much of a provider. But I love him anyway. I don't know why. It's the little
The rest of us have a lot of material to cover today if we don't want to fall behind.
You're not really gonna teach, are you?
Well, that is the idea.
Look, listen, lady, we're here because we know how to do our jobs. That's why they gave us a free week in Miami. I mean, usually we come to a seminar like this and you check off our names and we go play some golf. You're
Checks anymore. Well, I can't afford to live without that pension.
Well, honey, now let's not panic. I'm sure they can't just cut you off.
She's right. There has to be a good explanation. Honey, you'll call them tomorrow. Everything will be fine.
Well, what if it's not? What if I can't pay my own way? What if I can't afford food? What if I have to sleep outside in some park? I am so uptight. Donald's expecting this painting, and I really don't want to let him down.
Listen, after what he did to me, feel free to let him down.
You know, Blanche, I was thinking about that story you told us about you and Donald.
You mean when I dropped my robe and stood over here as Dorothy Zbornak?
Oh, is it?
And we just want you to know how excited we are that an artist of your stature is going to be performing in our little theater.
Ladies, there are no small theaters, no small parts, only small actors.
Like, are they villages?
I was speaking metaphorically.
She's my sister that I hate. I wish I could give her my kidneys, let her get up all night. And what if I gave her my kidney, and then the one good kidney I have left stops working? What do I do then, ask for my kidney back?
You'd be an Indian giver. My first house didn't cost that much.
Mr. Pfeiffer, we have already told you, we are bereaved on a budget. Now, if you can't accommodate us, we'll find someone who can.
You know, the Avante Supreme is a big seller. That retails for just $3,000.
What do you call this one?
A pine box.
How much? Oh, please go on. That's such a beautiful language.
Rose, why don't we just show Mr. Vaughn around the theater?
Well, why don't I just do that myself, since I've had the most experience performing here?
Blanche, the parking lot doesn't count.
Out in the open anyway. Come on in and say your piece.
Well, the reason is we've been getting along so well as friends lately that I didn't want us to have another night like that night we had in college.
In college? What are you talking about?
That night, the spring jamboree out at Grady's Motor Lodge.
Grady's Motor Lodge? I never...
Grandma, upstairs. And is it such a leap of faith to believe that Ma was in the white light? Why am I making it such a crusade not to believe either one of them? What, am I just an ostrich with its head in the ground? And I love you.
Fine. Now keep your fat mouth shut so I can get some sleep.
Jean thinks she's in love with Rose.
Hey, when did you sneak in? Listen, I just got the television station to give me 8 hours of airtime for the telethon. Rose, that's wonderful. The only thing is there are so many things to get organized. I'm going to have to get somebody to help me do this.
Well, you could sign...
Nice hit, Tracy. Now, why don't you throw one into the Schiller's yard?
This has been the worst day of my life. Yes. Oh, Mr. Ninnervini, my ice skating coach, said I should wear weights to strengthen my ankles. Well, I'm off to the grocery. Can I bring you anything?
Is that as fast as you can go?
Yes.
Don't get any dairy. Coffee shop. Oh, I got there 5 minutes early and caught him necking with a waitress.
Oh, well, that must have made it easier.
No, I still could not do it.
Dorothy, how long had you been together with this guy?
38 years.
That was Stan?
And you know, to this day...
Who would have thought it would rain for 24 hours straight? Red sixes.
Red ought to pay it.
She's talking about me, isn't she? No, Rose. She's talking about Spike Lee.
But don't get smart with me, Dorothy, just because you're out $10,000.
Me?
Face facts. I mean, we were already roommates.
Listen, Rose, I was wondering, if you're not busy Saturday afternoon, the university is playing Shostakovich.
Oh, I'd love to go. And I'll bet we beat them.
Rose, honey, it's not a team, it's a composer.
Money. You know, I always thought it was sad. I outlived my whole family. But I never knew it was going to be a punishment.
The hotel business started to slump. Hundreds of people got laid off. I went looking for work.
Bedroom. I want to lie down for a while.
Ma?
Dorothy, who the hell parked a Buick in my bedroom?
Rose, hurry, please!
These were the only spare towels I could find.
Put them around the bucket in case the leak spreads.
Wait a minute, Rose. Is that my Cabana Club beach towel you have there?
Is it this one with the naked man and woman being swept up?
Let's grab lunch.
Ma, it's dinner time.
Oh, I guess I did take a nap.
Ma, I don't know why you're nervous. You are not going to prison.
I feel like I already am in prison with you keeping an eye on me 24 hours a day. Are you going to keep doing that for the rest of my life?
No, only until you give up this ridiculous idea about...
It's my treat.
With rainbow sprinkles, they're 5 cents extra.
What the hell? I'm a sport. Rose, are you still here? Dorothy's due back with Angela.
Hasn't even gotten there yet. Look, all you got is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Straight, mark it down. All right, Dorothy, you go get him, darling. Go get him good.
Nothing to it. As I told you before, all we have to do to win is just...
It was. Then you're expecting me to compete with it.
But that's not true.
Listen, Rose, I can't fight a ghost. Gee, Charlie's not only dead, he's much younger. Look, Rose, you know I'm nuts about you, but I shouldn't have to prove it by jumping out of an airplane. I'm over 60.
And there's a better chance of finding a doctor.
First, Becky conceives in a clinic. Now she wants to deliver in a bedroom. She's got the whole thing backwards. Oh, this is all wrong. What kind of dope would want to have a baby here?
This place makes me want to...
Have your eyes zapped with some ray gun, you could read it off my identification badge here.
Alvin Newcastle Security Guard.
That's right.
Why don't you just buy the one that says Marshall, Dodge City?
This happens to be a legitimate, officially authorized identification badge issued by the police department.
Wind up swapping recipes with the chungs? Out, out!
Ladies, I'm not sure I understand.
What do you want, subtitles?
What I mean is, Dorothy was perfectly reasonable. You were pestering her, she was more than patient.
Exactly. And I've had it up...
Pop's been dead 27 years.
What's your point?
What are you saying?
Isn't it obvious, Dorothy? She showered with a dead man for 5 years.
Rose, what did you want?
I got 2 tickets to the hottest Norwegian musical in town.
Rose, you've really...
Danish!
Hi, I'm here about the car.
Oh, come in. Have a seat.
Thank you. How you doing?
Blanche will be here any minute. She's out on a test drive.
Well, Blanche said I was going to be the first.
Hi.
Oh, Oh, I'm sorry, but you're not supposed to eat off that plate. That's Blanche's Citrus Festival plate.
Are you staying here too?
We're in the room at the end of the hall. I'm Peter. This is my wife, Maddie.
Denouncements.
Well, you probably want to get her operational as soon as possible. After all, she's quite a showpiece. Where do I install her?
Well, actually, Lou, we're going to install her ourselves. Follow me.
Hold it. You're not serious.
Why not?
You gotta be a man, for God's sakes.
You know, to tell you the truth,
More fulfilled.
Well, I'll tell you what would make her feel more fulfilled.
Blanche. A hobby. Oh, I thought you meant, a man.
You got a better hobby?
No, I don't think a hobby is the answer for Ma.
But what do you think is?
Oh, I wish I knew.
A lot.
Well, then why don't you go to the hospital?
Because when he got sick, it scared the hell out of me.
And you did what you always do. You ran. Blanche, it's time to stop running.
You really think so?
Absolutely.
You're right. I will. Oh, Dorothy, oh goodness, no, of course I knew that. I'm not blind. Not that there's anything wrong in that. Of course, there's nothing so good about it either. Could we just go?
Great. What restaurant are we headed to?
Oh, Harvey's at the shore. Do you know it?
No, I don't.
Oh, you'll love it. It has a gorgeous view.
Before I go, I just want to say it's been wonderful seeing the open, honest, and loving relationship you're having with Aurora. You've been great. I love you, Mama.
Wait. I'm not as perfect as you think I am. There's something you ought to know.
Under the table, behind the couch, Bambi was onto me like that.
And then there's the water pressure.
I got more water pressure than this apartment.
And another thing.
This cheesecake is delicious.
It's not bad for store-bought. I'd love to have another cup of coffee.
I will put on another pot.
Good. What's all the racket? Oh, Martha and the Vandellas are back.
It's all right, Dorothy. I've got one of
Pete. Hi, this is Rose. Well, shut up and get in here. I see you're with two double-crossing ex-friends of mine. I'll come back later.
Tomorrow for that commercial.
I said she was family. I'd do anything for that girl. Well, is everybody ready for a spirited game of Guggenspritzer?
Guggenspritzer. You said we were going to play Monopoly.
I said it was like Monopoly. Only instead of Atlantic City, they used St. Olaf geography. Leaf Story.
Please, Rose, if this is a story about a man named Leaf, I don't want to hear it.
It's not that long.
No.
It has a surprise ending.
All right, Rose, just the ending, but keep it short.
Splat.
After all, say, would you like to have this?
Really?
Oh, wait, you ought to have it. After all, you're his son.
And when the applause started, his clapper went crazy. The lights went on, off, on, off, on, off. And Miles did his impression of the old King Kong. We laughed and laughed. So I pretended I was. She feels.
And what about you? You think I'm terrible because I want my husband back?
Ex-husband, Dorothy. Ex-husband who left you and didn't even have the courtesy to tell you he was leaving. Ex-husband who married somebody half your age just 1 week after the divorce. Ex-husband who's getting married again tomorrow.
Doesn't seem. But I thought that a little physical activity would help me snap this setback. I was wrong. You were right. I should just rest. Could you help me get back into bed?
Stanley, how could you fake a relapse? I mean, do I deserve this? Stan, I took care of you because I thought you needed me. I defended you to my...
I mean, you hardly know him.
I suppose, but it feels like I've known him for ages, and that he's known me. Oh, I found the most wonderful man in the world, and I owe it all to the two of you.
Be serious. I mean, where are you going to get the $400? Just a rough guess.
Sophia, without going into a lot of psychological detail, I believe Stan's clinging to Dorothy is really a suppressed longing for his mother's love. Now, my theory is that subconsciously, he's trying...
Please, nobody touch anything. My name is Spade Marlowe. I'm a private detective retained by the late philanthropist Giles Forsythe. Because when an 88-year-old man marries a 22-year-old girl, he likes to know what she's up to.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but does anybody but me think the hat never know true love? May you be sterile and may all your offspring be sterile. May your hair never lie flat. And may your socks always slip down inside your shoes.
And this is the same Giuseppe Mangiacavallo who is the grandfather of the groom?
Now, you see why I want...
Accept Dr. Jerry's medical report.
Why?
I don't know, something about his prison record. They insist you be examined by one of their physicians. This is a real bummer. We've gotten this far and it's suddenly starting to all fall apart. It's over.
Apartment store in Fort Lauderdale, and a condominium in Orlando, a baseball team in Tampa, and I think one of the Lander sisters.
But what were you going to tell him? What if he hadn't backed out?
What difference does that make now? The important thing is we're staying together.
You were going to sell, weren't you?
Damn straight. What is our absolute limit?
Next, we have Community Property by Jasper de Kimmel. This is a small piece, but certainly one which will be worth many times its current value someday.
Like tomorrow.
Keeping a secret just isn't your strong suit, is it, Rose?
Charlie with that tramp if he didn't sleep with her.
Now, come on. Blanche may be a little loose, but she's not a tramp.
Okay, here they are, the names of all the men I have dated since my husband died.
What do you know? The tramp keeps records.
Dorothy, most of the men in these pages just fantasized.
Have to stink. And if you stay and work at it and everything turns out, you'll have a place to visit when the things at home really get to stink.
I just can't, come here whenever.
You can just come here whenever.
Well, I don't mind the gardening, but it's like the vacuum.
Front lawn and singing songs and dressing up in bed sheets. Of course, coming from Chattanooga, he wasn't familiar with the custom. He had a heart attack. He spent most of the summer in intensive care.
But you don't think I'm going to hear anything.
I can't do it, Dorothy.
Jimmy, you've come this far.
I have to.
Jimmy, you're at a crossroad. Oh, I feel guiltier than ever. Ma, I didn't tell a friend the truth.
Rose doesn't need to find out. We can move on with our lives as if nothing happened. Let it go, pussycat.
Dorothy, she's right. I'm going to marry Rose. You'll be the maid of honor.
No, that's right. The maid of honor. The guilty, sin-ridden, backstabbing maid of honor.
It can drive him absolutely crazy. I'll show you. Go. Drink, you don't gamble, you don't dance. My God, what are you, a priest?
Yes.
So, where are you guys from? I think I detected an accent.
What does it matter? Life is just one bottomless pit of muck and despair.
Man in the bedroom. Is that a Greek myth?
Get the door, Rose.
You.
Good morning.
Well, kid, what do you want?
Made love in the daylight.
Why is that amazing?
Well, you can't hide anything in the daytime. At night, I could be Godzilla. You'd be thrilled.
I'm thrilled, period. Everything about you thrills me.
And that's amazing.
Step out of Rose. The sun's coming up. Why do we have to leave so early? Because yesterday we ended up with a crummy location.
Well, then shouldn't we have dry ice or something to keep these cold till lunchtime?
Are you crazy? We should charge them extra for a hot lunch.
I'll tell you what won't work, honey. That's you and me here in the same office. Stealing that banquet from me was bad enough, but when you start hiding things from me, you have gone too far. If you want this job that bad that you have to lie and cheat and sneak around, then you can have it. I quit.
And a hint of turbulence.
This is Captain Malone again. Looks like we're running right into the eye teeth of a big tropical storm.
I'm a dead woman.
Fortunately, that means we're going to have to turn around and return to Miami. I'm sorry for the inconvenience.
Did you hear that, girls? We're saved.
One pack will last her a lifetime. Dorothy?
Out in a minute, Ma.
So good to see you, Sophia. So good to see. And this must be Dorothea. You know, you probably don't remember, but over 50 years ago, I held you naked in my arms.
And you peed on his suit.
Phil had great taste. That's one of the things I loved about him the most from the beginning. His sense of style. You know, we were married for 26 years. And my family still talks about that wedding dress. God, I wish I could wear a plunging neckline like that.
Hello? Oh, just a minute. Blanche, it's for you. It's Charmaine again.
Okay.
Blanche, don't you think you should talk to her? She's still...
You always wanted to open. We could stop the sale of that property and finally build the home we always dreamed of. There are so many things that we can do together, Dorothy. So many things you can't do alone. Don't answer me right now. Just think about it. Please.
It was just a little joke, Al. I laugh at all yours.
No, I'm serious. I'm seasick.
You mean it? We're still docked.
I can't sail around the world. I guess there's no adventure in me. I'm sorry, Rose.
Well, don't be sorry. Look what you were about to do.
You know, if all goes well with this here interview, you can start packing right away.
Oh, you know, I don't think I'd bother Rose with an old interview. You know, you just embarrass her. She's so modest.
I'm sorry, but the rules state we must conduct face-to-face interviews with all the candidates.
Here we are.
God, Ma, you didn't tell me he was in a clown suit.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how could you?
Sophia called me at rehearsal. I'll change. I just wanted to make sure you were all right.
Is counsel for the demonstrators present?
Here, Your Honor.
Oh, God. Oh, Blanche, what if she dies?
She's a tough lady, Dorothy. If anyone's a survivor, she is.
If she dies, I'll be an orphan. Can you believe it? I'm over 50 years old and I'll still feel like an orphan.
I know.
Excuse me. Did a white man and a wrinkled old black woman just come in here?
She meant a regal black woman and a scuzzy little white boy.
Come on, Blanche, you've landed on your back more than...
The American Gladiators.
You just watch your mouth, Rose. I may be a social person, but I am certainly discerning. Discerning? Blanche, you've been under more... Blossom and Belle, who had just won the Little Miss Magnolia pageant.
Blanche, before you start, realize I am very vulnerable now and in no mood to hear a story about you and some Yahoo cracker with 4 first names pawing at each other under a magnolia tree. I'm Rose.
I am going to keep one arm around your waist to make sure you don't disappear again.
Dorothy, this is Alfred. He's an ear, nose, and throat specialist. He says he's been looking for love in all the wrong places.
Ma, you're still mad at me, aren't you?
Dorothy, you let greed cloud your judgment. Money blinded you. You turned your back on the people you love. You did a terrible, terrible thing. It's unforgivable.
Ma, isn't there anything I can do regularly, bring home a paycheck, and support yourself?
Okay, wait a minute. What's this all about?
Michael, you are 30 years old. I want you to find your own place, cook your own food, and take responsibility for your life.
But Ma, that takes money.
That's where the job comes in. But you think it's going to be that easy getting rid of me, Rose? That was rhetorical, Rose. But what a comforting thought, knowing you'll never be alone.
And listen, what the hell, if we do have to go to a nursing home, let's all go together.
Responsibility, like if you're missing any jewelry or they kill you.
Out of here alive.
Ma, will you calm down? You are in the finest hospital in Florida. Nothing is going to go wrong.
Okay, Mrs. Petrillo. Let's see if we can get you patched up, huh? Thank you, Rose.
No. I mean, I'm trying to save something that you can't go into without wearing hip boots.
Well, some people might chuckle, but I think what you're doing is important. I mean, people laughed at me back in St. Olaf when I spearheaded the drive to get our very own missile silo.
Who's the Sheraton?
Dorothy?
Cousin Magda!
Such a beautiful home! Who sleeps with government official?
That would be my friend Blanche.
Excuse me, sir, are you talking to yourself?
Of course not. Fram Walk is talking to me. He's my Martian friend who landed his spacecraft in my yard.
See you at Wolfie's.
An exchange student? Kim Fong Toy?
Oh, sure. You look different.
Different on outside, same on inside.
Hi, I'm Pete Fielder.
Senior class president.
Oh my God, he's the president!
Rose.
I'm going to try something.
Even in church? You know, I've been thinking.
Oh, that would explain the beads of sweat.
Maybe Dorothy's right. I guess I don't need a shopping spree to give me the Christmas spirit. My church is serving Christmas dinner to the... What would Mrs. Claus say?
Not to mention Mrs. Kleckner.
Who was that?
He's a Santa Claus.
You're kidding. I thought it was Fidel Castro. I meant, what was he doing here?
Blanche picked him up at the mall.
Well, I can't help it. There's something about a man and a Santa Claus reason to bore your friends with a dull story, you know, so you embellish it. You add a little shading, a little color, a little hot tub. I guess it finally caught up with me. But I do think I've learned my lesson.
Can we have bald men sign?
I am talking about my recurring dream. Remember, I'm trapped in an enclosed space full of bald men. Well, I didn't tell you the rest of it. All those bald men and I are on a plane and we fly into the ocean.
Ma, he's tired of being a lawyer, so he's joining the circus.
What did you do to him?
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, right. One day the man's a lawyer, the next he's a clown. Perfectly natural.
Ma, please, this is hard enough as it is.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I just tend to get a little upset when people...
Ma, what are you doing up?
Just having a mailbox moment. What about you?
Thinking about Glenn. Oh, this whole thing is so rushed. Ma, I'm afraid I'm too old to make another mistake.
No, I mean right here. Oh, my God.
My backside is spread all across the front page. How could they do that?
They probably used a right-angle lens.
If I'd known I was being photographed, I would...
This is in her hand.
Blanche, I know I can't replace it, but I want to make it up to you. Listen, since this is our first night as roommates, I'd like to invite the two of you to dinner at my favorite restaurant.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Thank
you, Rose.
Then we better hurry, because the strawberry blizzard...
Well, before we open the doors, I just want to thank you all for taking time away from your own Christmas to provide Christmas for some that are less fortunate. We promise to turn away no one, remembering how Mary and Joseph were turned away at the inn.
Reverend Avery, it's always puzzled me. Why didn't Mary and Joseph call ahead for reservations?
Other than Mr. Burt Reynolds himself. Sophia, honey.
Oh, no.
What about what you said last night?
If you had let me finish my thought, Colonel Gaddafi, you might have understood. I said I thought this kind of relationship was wrong for you.
Well, it's not.
Dorothy, I'm your mother. I know you. You're a loving and sensitive person. But this isn't going to be enough someday. You'll be movements. Eine kleine Nachtmusik. That's right. How did you know that?
Well, they always play it during the chases on the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show. There was this one where...
Look, I promise I'll be back in less than an hour. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Girls, you know what this cheesecake is missing?
Chocolate syrup.
Oh, I wonder if he has any.
I'll go look in the back. You need some.
Make way for the winners of the Shady Pines Mother-Daughter Beauty Contest. Ta-da! You won!
No, actually, we're just the runners-up. But if the reigning winners, for any reason, can't fulfill their duty, I set off the smoke alarm.
How?
Cigarette.
Oh, no, thank you. I don't smoke. Now, how did you set off the alarm?
I smoked a cigarette, you amoeba. I'm sorry, Rose. I'm sorry. I'm just so upset that I started smoking again.
Well, why did you?
I want you to go slow and pace yourself.
That's what I used to tell your father. The only thing he did faster than eat was make love. And in both cases, before I was finished, he'd pat his stomach and say, I've had enough.
I wish you girls would help me get this house ready.
Ma, you'll never guess who I was just on the phone with.
Uncle Vito.
How did you know?
I picked up the phone and listened in. It's a little thing I do.
Girls, my Uncle Vito is coming to Miami for a visit, and he's going to stay with us. He arrives Thursday. He's going to stay a whole week.
One's pinching your bottom. You're a lucky girl, Dorothy. I hate you.
Oh, this is just crazy talk. I think we've only been seeing each other for 3 months. I've never even thought of what it would be like if I were Mrs. Kenneth Whittingham. So that's the story. The car is not available, but Blanche Devereaux is.
I can't believe that I've been hustled. Boy, if I wasn't a teacher and accustomed to abuse, I'd leave too.
Really? You know, I'm a teacher myself. No kidding.
His dicky in her hand.
Well, that would certainly place him at the scene of the crime.
Look at this. I'm a walking time bomb. 230 over 190. Stand back, I could blow any minute.
Ma, you know that machine.
I don't get it. They don't seem to have anything in common.
I guess it's just like that old saying, you know, opposites attract.
Oh, that's very true. Back in St. Olaf, Ollie Knudenspringel and his wife Bridget were opposites in every way. I mean, he was fat, she was thin. He was neat, she was sloppy.
You know what I think? I think I can handle this relationship with Dirk. I'm going out with him Saturday night.
Was there ever any doubt?
Momentarily. This is strictly off the record, but Dirk's nearly 5 years younger than I am.
It's time, Sophia.
Do I have to?
Don't be so sad. We'll be together again.
I love you, Sal.
And I love you. And tell my little Spumoni face something. I'm proud of her.
Someone sitting here?
Cataracts or glaucoma?
I can see there's no one sitting here. I was just being polite.
If you say so. Me, I've got both cataracts and glaucoma. The glaucoma I handle with drops. For the cataracts, I had surgery.
Those Vero Beach.
Joe, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Nothing. You're ripping the pages out of that book. Or somebody should take a hickory switch to your behind.
Blanche, come on now, calm down, calm down. Let me show you how a professional teacher deals with this.
Why skipper? Because you like boats?
No, I like to skip. I got beat up a lot as a child.
Well, were you and Rose really serious?
Oh, you bet. In fact, Rose Lindstrom gave me my first real...
We'll tell you what's wrong with us if you tell us what's wrong with you.
That really won't be fair, will it, Stein? I mean, now they know what's wrong with us.
Well, Dorothy, the sooner we do this, the sooner you're rid of me.
Listen, if you don't want tonight to turn into a total disaster, you have to stop being so self-conscious.
Oh, well, you're right, of course. Dr. Newman is a guest in our home. If I'm self-conscious, he'll be ill at ease. I can't allow that to happen. It would be un-Southern.
You may never get to hear my story.
Then I'm wrong. It isn't a no-win situation.
I was still in high school at the time, and I was having an affair with a very handsome exchange student named Jean-Pierre Fontainebleau.
Game.
Rose, let's go check out the coffee shop. Maybe we'll meet some cute doctors. Hello.
He's married.
Goodbye.
Those two here for a CAT scan?
How long do you think you can stay handcuffed?
My personal best is 32 hours. Of course, then I had somebody to play with.
You don't have to decide tonight. You should take all the time you need.
The point is, if you turn a nice buck on this place today, you can buy a bigger and better place tomorrow.
But I'm not sure I want to go right out and buy a new house. Maybe I want to take some time to travel first. I have relatives scattered all over this country.
Within the next couple of months, they're going to have to do that.
You know, Dorothy, people think if you live to be my age, you should be grateful just to be alive. Well, that's not how it works. You need a reason to get up in the morning, and sometimes even after you find one, life...
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Dorothy. Milton. Oh, pleased to meet you, Milton.
Why, we're here.
Ladies, I'm sorry. When you told me you were serious, I took you literally. Just forget this stuff. Wear your sweats.
No, Yvonne, we want all that stuff.
Yeah, we do. We really do. Well, I don't. I'm going to stick with my sweatsuit and my PF Flyers. Get out there and do it. Did you know that my sister Lily still holds the record at our high school for the 100-yard dash? She served 3 terms on the city council, and she was the first woman in St. Olaf's to ever have a pilot's license.
Oh, really? Well, we have something in common, Lily. I was the first woman in my hometown ever to have a pilot.
Look, everybody named after an apostle, come with me. Excuse me, there was no Eddie.
Have you guys ever heard of Totally Hidden Video? Well, underneath this gray wig is comedian Kay Ballard. Thanks for being on our show.
Don't want to be a husband? Why, you let me know. Bye.
You held the receiver upside down. It wasn't even the phone, it was the TV remote control.
No.
A shoe.
Blanche, please, I'm not an idiot. The TV has a remote control? You can't catch what Dorothy has.
Well, then it must just be sympathy pains. Ooh.
Blanche, we're going to be late. Now, come on, let's go.
No, I don't think we ought to dance tonight. Rose is just not right. Now, we ought to be down at that hospital with Dorothy.
Sophia's with her. She's out of surgery and she's fine. Now, come on, let's go.
I know this is going to sound odd, but we used to live here many, many years ago, and we were hoping that we could look around, for old time's sake. Would that be possible?
Petrillo, they let Italians live here?
Look, we came all the way from Miami, please.
Okay, but don't...
Oh, that, New Year's Eve. Oh, I remember. You and Dorothy were in New York, and I had planned to spend the evening alone. Of course, that was before Blanche brought those 2 brothers home from the Rusty Anchor. How could you do this to me, Blanche? You knew I wanted to spend tonight alone.
Rose, nobody who says they want to be alone on New Year's Eve.
Sophia, you can't do this. Dorothy said you...
Forget about what Dorothy said. What do you want me to do? Kick them out? There's not a room in town. These people come from a small town in Iowa, much like St. Olaf. Really? I don't lie about stuff like this, Rose.
Those are mine, Sophia.
Oh, well, let me put on my big surprise face.
Oh, I just wish there was something we could do for the poor thing.
There is. I want to sew a shower cap over my bonnet.
No, Ma, I'm going out tonight with Stan.
No.
Yes, Ma, I really am.
I believe you. I said no.
Ma, I've been seeing him secretly for months now, and we're getting...
Listen to my little soldier, knocking on heaven's door and still throwing his voice to make me laugh.
No, Rose over here, this bed.
Miles?
In the charm of a Cary Grant.
I'm not surprised. The woman drinks grain alcohol out of a measuring cup.
Here's the tea.
This is just hot water. Don't you just sit right over here and read your magazine, okay?
Oh, okay. Don't try to outsmart me, Dorothy. I got the mind of a fox and the butt muscles of Baryshnikov.
Director of the St. Olaf Community Playhouse. A lot of people don't know this, but the family drama, Hey, That's My Tractor, got its start right there.
Wasn't the musical version called Hey, Hey, That's My Tractor?
Anyway, during the auditions, The first woman who walked through that door. You spend that much time with people who are old and sick and frail.
Oh, that reminds me, I got mahjong tomorrow. Well, anyway, we wanted to pick up your spirits, Rose, so close your eyes. Close your eyes. Oh, very funny, Bless. This time I have really done it. Thanks to me, the hospital charity banquet is going to be held in the Versailles room of the Bedford Hotel.
Blanche, the committee is on a budget.
I know it, but don't worry, I worked out a special deal.
But we can't afford that room.
I know it, but don't worry, I worked out a special deal. I told the manager if he'd let us have that room, I would persuade...
You're going to wear a dress and then return... Blanche, that's illegal.
Oh, it is not illegal, it's just wrong. See, I love the dress, but I can't afford it, not $300 worth. And I have a late date tonight, so I want to look stunning for it. Besides, it's not like I'm going to wear it.
I'll make you some nice hot milk, and then we're going to pile you into bed.
Rose, you're my friend, so I'm going to let you read a few pages, but you have to give me your word you won't tell anyone. Your word.
Of course, and then will you sleep?
Whatever. I can trust you. I know I can. You're from Minnesota.
Well, tomorrow's the big day. Are you excited?
Rose. He's having a bypass, not going off to college. We know you're going to be just fine.
Here, I brought you some clean towels.
Babe, you are a remarkable woman.
I said towels. There's another date with Carl tonight, huh? You must really like this guy.
I do. Carl is sweet, and he's supportive. He understands that I still have feelings for Miles.
Rose, Miles is in the witness relocation program. You're not supposed to be telling people about him.
Oh, I didn't tell him Miles ratted on a gangster named the Cheese Man. I used to daydream all the time that my real parents would knock on the door and take me away. So like most of the kids there, I started fantasizing about who they might be. I had a particularly clear picture in my head of my father. Anyway, one day, they took us all to the movies. And when Bob Hope, until I do need them.
Oh, come on. Now, Rose, don't let this bother you. You'll date again.
Of course she will. Honey, have you given any thought to advertising?
Oh, Blanche, I could never dress the way you do. Besides, I have to wear undies. Not all my wool skirts are lined.
Brandon almost got my balance. And I only dropped my baton 4 times. And when I was finished, I was unanimously voted captain of the cheerleading squad.
Blanche, how was that possible?
Underneath my regulation uniform, I was wearing little black French lace panties. Bearing the...
No, thanks. I'd rather earn it.
You at Benihana after class?
Rose. You never graduated from high school?
Not a...
3, 2, 1.
Am I?
Goodbye, Stan. Can you believe this guy? Like I would think for a minute about being in business with him.
Nonsense, Dorothy. You can't pass up a chance to own real estate. It's been a life...
Michael?
Oh, hi, Ma. What are you doing up?
Waiting up for you.
I brought you something.
Change from my 40?
No, these little bamboo umbrellas.
These are mine to keep.
Secrets of my life. I won't do it. I can't. I won't.
Pull yourself together, for God's sake. You're in a psychiatrist's office.
Blanche Devereaux.
Oh, my God.
You go on, honey. We'll be right here.
Really? Yes. But never mind about that. Let's talk about you. You look like you lost a little weight, sugar.
I have.
You know, at your age, when you lose weight, your skin just hangs there. Like leaves on a willow.
I haven't lost that much.
ग्रामवर भवान पोरगी पटवली इंस्टाग्रामवर भावानं पोरगी पटवली केव्हाच खोललंय अकाउंट त्याला खोलून झाला महिना तिला देतो या रिक्वेस्ट एकीचा रिप्लाय येईना केव्हाच खोललंय अकाउंट त्याला खोलून झाला महिना तिला देतो या रिक्वेस्ट एकीचा रिप्लाय येईना पाहून एकीचा डीपी डोळ्यात साठवली पाहून एकीचा डीपी डोळ्यात साठवली इंस्टाग्रामवर भावानं पोरगी पटवली इंस्टाग्रामवर भावानं पोरगी पटवली इतक्यात आली रिक्वेस्ट ती वयानं भरली मोठी कोणाच्या लमाचं पाप देवा घेतो का कसोटी आली रिक्वेस्ट ती वयानं भरली मोठी कोणाच्या लमाचं पाप देवा घेतो का कसोटी झाला डोक्याला ताप माझ्या कशी बशी मी कटवली झाला डोक्याला ताप माझ्या कशी बशी मी कटवली स्नॅप चॅटवर भावानं पोरगी पटवली स्नॅप चॅटवर भावानं पोरगी पटवली का होईना माझी तळमळ कळाली कशी हवी होती मला तशीच मिळाली उशिरा का होईना माझी तळमळ कळाली कशी हवी होती मला तशीच मिळाली मयशी केला विषय पूर्ण सनित चिंता मिटवली मयशी केला विषय पूर्ण सनित चिंता मिटवली इंस्टाग्रामवर भावानं पोरगी पटवली इंस्टाग्रामवर भावानं पोरगी पटवली सोशल मीडियावरती भावानं पोरगी पटवली सोशल मीडियावरती भावानं पोरगी पटवली